Don't worry, my friends. By the time you are watching this video, by the time it's uploaded onto YouTube and public, I will likely be watching Canada versus Finland. It's the biggest thing in the country going on right now. But with that said, we have ourselves a Canadian and a Finn to go out there and talk about in today's audio commentary. We're heading over to the Montreal Canadiens and diving once more into Patrik Laine. You see, last time we made a video talking about the Canadian Finn, we spoke about how he was out and also missing practice again due to an injury. That was obviously not the ideal update that we wanted to see out of him. There also was a conversation on Mrtka getting offer sheeted to the Ottawa Senators, but that's an entirely other discussion for another day. But Patrik Laine was out for a practice due to a suspected lower body injury that was reported from the media. He did come back onto Habs practice the next morning at Brassard after missing the initial practice, and you could see number 92 going out there doing his thing. He's skating, he's living, he's breathing, he's gliding around. And Renaud Lavoie clarified that the absence from Canadiens practice on the 17th was due to that lower body discomfort there. So Patrik Laine, pretty interesting spot right now for the Montreal Canadiens. He's a guy who has only played 5 games all year. He has scored himself 1 point in those 5 games. We cut and paste the same thing every time, but this was a player that was very, very effective for a certain part of his Montreal Canadiens tenure at doing the thing that he gets paid to do, scoring goals. Patrik Laine had some power play bombs, and Marty St. Louis will be the first guy to tell you that Laine's presence on the team allowed the Montreal Canadiens to make the playoffs in the first place. It was a really big deal. This guy came in and was scoring goals like crazy, and then he stopped doing that, and then he kind of did it a little bit again, and then he stopped again, and then he got hurt, and then he was out for the playoffs, and then Demidov was promoted to power play 1, and the rest is essentially history here. Laine suffering back-to-back years where he gets hurt sometime early during the preseason or otherwise, and it's been a really rough go for this guy the past few seasons in the National Hockey League. We have made videos about which teams could go out there and try to get Laine in a trade. They'll try to capitalize on what this guy has as a ceiling, ask themselves whether or not they value that upper echelon of talent that he does have but is untapped, in order to take on a guy that can potentially help them make the playoffs or whatever. Also, he's making $8.7 million a year till the end of this season, so that's a very difficult contract to move in isolation. But the Laine injury news from a few days ago was quite interesting, because following up on that, there was a post made on this website right here, NHLSuomi.com, which is essentially a Finnish NHL journalism website, I guess you could say. And they posted this article a few days ago. Actually, no, it was yesterday. My bad. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to go out there and read it yourself, but I'm going to translate this to English via the Google machine over here. Google Translate is our best friend. Here is the title of the article from Markus Nutinen. A big revelation about Patrik Laine's trade plans. Antti Mäkinen says, I know the facts. Now, who is Antti Mäkinen? Well, let's go out there and read. Patrik Laine and the Montreal Canadiens appear to be parting ways by the NHL trade deadline, which expires on March 6th at the latest. Laine's close friend, NHL commentator Antti Mäkinen for Viaplay, shares new details about the situation of the Finnish forward who has been sidelined for almost the entire season due to an injury, in his Kimi Mantia podcast. The quote from Mäkinen says this: "Don't be surprised if there was a trade before the trade deadline. It is hoped that both sides will do so. There were hopes that the trade would have come before the Olympic break, but it didn't. As a matter of fact, I know that a few clubs have inquired about Laine. Now we'll just see what kind of a deal can be made there." The commentator mentions the LA Kings as one of the candidates interested in Laine, whose star point guard Kevin Fiala's season ended with an injury sustained in the Olympic tournament. They may be interested, but we'll see what happens. Laine played 5 games at the start of the regular season before his latest injury. The forward's contract expires at the end of the year. So this is very interesting info from a guy who is supposedly Laine's close friend, Antti Makinen, Viaplay NHL commentator in Finland. And if this is the truth, and nothing but the truth, that Laine is interested in getting moved, that the Canadiens are interested in moving this guy away, and that a team like the LA Kings is looking for a new scorer ever since the departure of Kevin Fiala from the rest of the lineup in the year, then I would honestly say it makes a lot of sense. Now, some of the other videos that we have made about Patrik Laine go over various ideas like, oh, should Laine request a trade himself? Should he be the guy to say, hey, it's not working, I want out? We have spoken about the Carolina Hurricanes. We've made videos about the Kings and the Kraken and the Flames and the Hurricanes. And there have been other conversations about Patrik Laine involving Calgary and Edmonton, and he's been all over the map in regards to trade rumors and trade scenarios. So for Patrik Laine, now getting this word from a childhood friend of his that there could be some sort of a deal brewing, and there was potentially a deal that could have brewed and fully set off the kettle before the Olympic break began, then it all kind of checks out with some of the other stuff we had been seeing and reading about from other sources and whatnot. This post was made on the Habs subreddit. It is a reply from Have Been and Will Be. They essentially posted the same article from Finland, and they put here, Antti Makinen, a Finnish NHL commentator, made an appearance on Kimmo Timonen's podcast, Kimi Mantia. Makinen, who claims to know Patrik Laine well, said that Laine is not injured. It is just easier for the Habs to announce he has a minor injury, when in reality he has already been kicked off the team. From what I've heard, he might be heading to LA. Now, this quote is from the podcast. He has already been, quote-unquote, kicked off the team. And that is a very blunt way to put it. However, I will say there is some very interesting response to that. Venkat says this, kicked off the team seems kind of harsh. That's probably a translation mistake. It might be, but my understanding of Finnish culture is that they also tend to be more blunt and don't care for the euphemistic way we tend to talk in North America. That's pretty much how many Europeans speak. Germans, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, Finns, and many others are known for being blunt. We don't sugarcoat things, we say them as they are. And so, if that is 100% the case, Patrik Laine was, quote-unquote, kicked off the team. He's heading over to LA potentially. Now with Kevin Fiala out of the picture, the Kings need a goal scorer. Would Patrik Laine fit the bill? Hey, they've already got Corey Perry. Having Perry and Laine, two big dudes who are slow and who can score some pretty nice goals, I think that's actually a really nice combination of guys. And it's really just because Patrik Laine is doomed to going down a certain kind of path, assuming he does not actually get into NHL game action. If he's kicked off the Montreal Canadiens, then that's it. Sayonara. It's done. You're bye-bye. So with all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Patrik Laine supposedly being kicked off the Montreal Canadiens and potentially heading over to the LA Kings? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.